I know I'm late to speak of this movie, but it is still the favorite movie of the summer for me. So let's talk about Star Trek II. Mike's Movie Reviews, yeah! Alright, bad Shatner accent aside, because that was a really bad Shatner accent. This is still my favorite movie of the summer. Even 2 weeks after seeing it, it still felt good on me. I assume everyone's seen it by now that's watching this, so it's going to be very spoiler filled. But if not, I'm just going to tell you what I thought about the movie. Easily 9.5 out of 10. I couldn't give it that 10 because I still thought the first one was just a bit better, so I had to put it like right under. So it's a solid 9.5 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've seen it, go see it again. It's definitely worth it. Alright, now let's get down to the details of the movie. Alright, let's start with the big reveal. For anyone that couldn't tell from the previews, because I myself find it kind of obvious, but it was still a nice reveal, okay, the point is Benedict Cumberbatch did a great job as Khan. Yes, he's Khan. From the previews, it looked like Khan, and he did a great job of it. I mean, it was a retelling of the story. A lot of the stuff, it was like a parallel to the original Star Trek II Wrath of Khan, which was really neat. Like, for anyone who's seen the original movie, at the end, or near the end, Spock dies. And he dies because he gets to the radiation, and, he does the, "You were always my friend," to Kirk. And in this scenario, it was flipped around, which is really neat. Another thing I thought was neat was that this movie did what other Star Trek movies didn't really do. Instead of showing Spock in his logical sense, they tap more into his emotions. There's an early scene where Spock is telling Uhura that he's hiding his feelings in his near-death moments. And then at the scene I was talking about earlier where Spock is the one still living and Kirk is the one who's dying, he realizes that he can't actually control that, which I thought was a really neat tool that they used. Another really emotional moment in the movie is where Pike dies. Now, this is a pretty early scene in the movie. It's after the first adventure scene, which I thought was really neat because it was a throwback to just any episode of Star Trek where they're just on a random mission. And I thought the beginning was really cool. But after that, Kirk loses the Enterprise, and it goes back to Pike. And this is when Cumberbatch comes in on his spaceship and just kills all the ambassadors. And Pike is one of those. And you see Spock kind of consoling with him and feeling what Pike's feeling. And it's a really cool scene. Another really cool aspect is that they bring Klingons in. And like if you've seen the original show or The Next Generation, Klingons, they didn't really look that threatening. I mean, it's kind of like the Daleks from Doctor Who. I mean, if you don't watch the show, then you wouldn't just find them threatening. But in this movie, they really look badass. And there's the scene when they're at the Klingon homeworld, and Khan just goes and he takes out an entire brigade of them, and it's really neat, and it's showing that Khan is thinking more in depth. Like, he's playing everyone, but no one realizes it. He's even playing what they set up to also be a villain, which is the guy RoboCop plays, because he seems like he's the mastermind at one point in the movie, but then it flips when future Spock, comes back and he's talking to regular Spock, and he's like, Khan is the most dangerous foe I've ever encountered. And that's when you realize, oh shit, Khan is still a badass, and he's even playing him. And it's all a really cool reveal. And the thing about the Klingons is it definitely shows that they have a plan for future movies, and it's going to involve this Klingon war that's about to break out. And it'll be really cool. Then at the very, very end of the movie, it shows the Enterprise going off on their 5-year mission, just like in the show. So I thought that was a really nice throwback. overall, this was a really good movie. I think there was more action than in the first movie, and the villain was a lot better. I was not a big fan of the one from the first one, but he was still all right. He was set up the plot, and that was important. But there wasn't as much like digging into the characters as the first one. I mean, you still had your Spock Kirk debates about logic and I should do this, you should do that. It seemed a bit rehashed, a little bit, but it was still good because that's who these characters are. I mean, even though they trust each other, they don't always have the same ideas, so their heads are going to clash. But like I said, this was a great movie. I would suggest go watching it again and again and again. Go buy it as soon as it comes out, collector's edition, Blu-ray, DVD, and I really can't look forward to the next one. And it really makes me think Star Wars Episode 7 is going to be a great movie because I was always a Star Wars person over Star Trek person until the Star Trek movie came out, and that gave me more faith in Star Trek, where I went back and I watched some of the original series, and I was like, okay, this is pretty neat. But yeah, I was always a Star Wars person, and this has me excited for Episode 7 now. Talk to you guys next time. Check out my other reviews. I'll get another one up soon.